Yeah. You. Remember when yo was the thing? Soldier Boy telling. Did you ever walk around the house going like, yo?
No, I was too young for that.
You never walked around the house like, yo?
No, I did it a little bit later though.
Sometimes I still do that.
Like the beginning of Crank That Soldier Boy.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like doing like a dope jump on like Grand Theft Auto or something. I'm getting like mad air. You're like, yo. I have no to thank but Soldier Boy for that.
Honestly, he started a few. I mean, I remember learning that dance was a huge thing even before dances were like a viral thing. Like on TikTok right now, the Soldier Boy dance was like a huge thing. I remember everyone wanted to learn it.
Yeah, Soldier Boy invented TikTok in a way. When you really
He kind of did in a way, yeah. He was kind of ahead of the game.
Yes, sir, he was. Yes, sir, he was. Shout out Soldier Boy, man. Soldier Boy, tell him. Also, I really like that one joint. Hop up in the Benz, turn my swag on, take a look at the mirror, say, what's up, what's up, what's up? Yeah, let me get money.
It's a good song. It's a good song. It's fun.
Soldier Boy's fun, man. That's what it's all about, having fun, right?
Yeah, 100%.
When you listen to music, do you look for fun? Or do you look for an emotion? Do you look for a feeling? Do you look for a vibe?
It depends. Like last night, I went on a drive for like an hour and a half, and it was all emotion. So I mean, it ranges, right? So I had like Those Guys to Frank Ocean to Mac Miller to Jacquees, like a million things in between. As long as I can appreciate it, as long as you know the general message behind it.
What's your favorite Frank Ocean album?
Chanel Orange. It's between Chanel Orange and Blonde. Also, don't you have like a really rare Frank Ocean vinyl? If I do remember correctly.
Wrong guy. I got Endless on vinyl. Endless?
Oh, that's what it was. Okay, it's not rare though, is it?
I mean, it was available to anyone. When he put it on sale, anyone could have got it.
But now today, where does that stand?
I think now you might not be able to find it. I guess I don't know. Maybe it is rare. That's kind of
think it
strange.
is.
You said that. I never realized how rare it was. I really want Channel Orange or Blonde. I think I want Blonde on vinyl. I don't have either of those on vinyl. The only joint I got is Endless, but I need Channel Orange and I need Blonde on vinyl.
I was at a record store in San Diego, I think a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. They had both those. They had like they had a ton of albums. And it makes me wonder when I go to these stores, I'm like, are these bootleg or are these real?
Wow.
It really makes me wonder.
Yeah, it makes me wonder. Shit, I would say grab one of those for me and I'll throw you some cash. I need that.
Next time I'm there, I actually will.
Yeah, if they have either one.
If they're still there, they probably sold out like really quick.
Yeah, I've never seen a Frank Ocean vinyl before. I think that idea is just rare itself.
I think the one you have is pretty rare. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, that's dope. That makes me feel good about myself. I still think vinyl's the best way to listen to music. I know I've said it a million times, but there's no better way.
I need to get more vinyls, man. I only have 4 vinyls, I believe. I don't even have a vinyl player because I know I'm gonna get into that. I'm just gonna want vinyls nonstop, and it's a little bit of an expensive habit.
Think about it this way: what if the world ended and there was no more Apple Music and Spotify? The servers were down, and all you had was the music in front of you. At that point, your vinyl collection would really be rocking.
That's true. I have more CDs than I do vinyls because I don't know. I like CDs a lot. I listen to them in my car. Like when I was actually at that vinyl store, I didn't buy any of the vinyls because I was like, fuck, I don't have a vinyl player. So I just ended up buying CDs. Like I bought Frank Sinatra's All Time Greatest or whatever. It's a blue album cover. I listened to it on Spotify, but I thought, damn, it would be nice to have that on CD. So I bought that instead. But I have a lot of CDs for albums that I specifically like.
I can't remember where my CD collection is, what happened to my CD collection. There was a time when I had a lot of CDs. There was definitely a time that was in high school. And then I might have still collected some CDs. I bought some albums in college because I car had a CD player. I think is that why I bought CDs? No, I think you're still buying CDs. I remember. I feel like the last CD I purchased was Yeezus.
Oh, that'd be a cool CD to own.
I think that was the last CD I purchased. Now I can't tell you where that CD is. I have no idea. That would be probably worth something at this point in day and age. You could probably sell it on eBay for some money
Probably a lot of
because
CD. I mean, do you think it was continued made after they first put it out?
I don't know. Like, can you even? Is there even a CD section right now in Best Buy? When you go to Best Buy, do they have CDs for sale?
I don't think so. I think you have to go to a specific music store. Like Dipple Records was the last CD store that I remember, and it shut down where I live. But Dipple Records was absolutely the last one, and I haven't seen a CD store with such a large variety since then.
That's so crazy to think about. I remember going to like a Circuit City or a Best Buy. You ever heard of Circuit City?
Yeah, I've heard of it. I've never been though.
So Circuit City, they shut those down. Those, I'm pretty sure they went out of business.
Okay.
And I remember being a kid and like every weekend driving around with my dad, he would want to go shopping or whatever, and he would always go to like Circuit City or Best Buy, and he'd go to the CD section and just be browsing CDs for like way too long. And I'm like, man, come on. Even at
Yeah,
that age, I was like, man, this is so like prehistoric, like browsing through these CDs. You should be able to just press a button and get all of this crap. Like, I mean,
yeah.
of
Now
course,
look,
it's not crap. I just mean like the physical material is crap, like the shifting through disc and CD cases and the jewel, the old CD case. Like, imagine how much plastic waste that is, how much space that takes up. Just all that idea. It was just behind. It was took too long. And as a child, I had absolutely no patience for it. Of course, I didn't really have my appreciation for music or understanding of what he was doing, but he was browsing through a lot of CDs. He was purchasing a lot of CDs. He used to maybe cop like 5 CDs a weekend or something. It would seem like always grabbing CDs. You
honestly,
went in Best Buy. It was coming out with some CDs. Go ahead.
I feel like it's when you talk about like shifting through CDs, it's kind of the same when you're looking through vinyls because you don't know what you're about to find. And so, for instance, when I popped up on those Frank Ocean vinyls, it was like, okay, here's Mac, here's this person, this person. Oh shit, Frank Ocean! And then you call your friend over, dude. Look, they got Frank Ocean. It's like it's an exciting feat to find almost. And the cool thing about vinyls compared to CDs is you can hang them on your wall. If you have like a good vinyl collection, you can really do something with it creative, like in an artistic form compared to CDs because they're so small. CDs are so small. Um, but I mean, hey, they get the job done. You're not buying CDs for the look; you're buying them for the music.
Yeah, man. I think you have a great point. That's one of the most beautiful things about vinyl is it's not just the CD album artwork, but it is the vinyl artwork itself. It's a large version. It's a large print of what the artist was trying to say, what the artist is trying to give you as far as the theme for this album. So I feel like if my dad was walking into Best Buy grabbing vinyls, I probably wouldn't have had so much impatience with the whole experience because I think that vinyl aspect brings something to the table from even a immature palette. I think you could flip through something there and like love something about that. I wish a part of me came up in the vinyl industry as far as like the world goes, as consumerism goes, like being able to go to vinyl stores. It's all a thing of the past now. I remember there was this vinyl store in New York that I loved so much. It was right around the corner from Lafayette where I used to work in NoHo, right near NYU. And for the longest time, there was a vinyl store there that I would go to, and the homie Ramsey was running the show, selling the vinyl. That's actually where I bought my first Flying Lotus vinyl. And I remember walking by the window and I saw Flying Lotus vinyl like on display. I was like, oh my goodness, I need this. Walked in there, grabbed it. Didn't even have a vinyl player at the time. And I was like, you know what? I'm such a huge Flying Lotus fan. I need this. That was like the first Flying Lotus vinyl I bought. Got a vinyl player later and then just kept going to that store, kept going to that store. I put so much money into that store, man. I wonder hundreds, if not, I might have broke $1,000 in there, just on vinyl alone, just going in again, buying used vinyl, buying new vinyl, telling him what I'm looking for, him ordering the vinyl, it's showing up, him putting me on to dope music. Ramsey's the man. He's actually the late great old dirty bastard's younger brother, and he plays drums, an incredible drummer. But last thing I'll say about this is they turned that same vinyl store into a coffee shop. The last time I went there, I left New York, for at least a year maybe. When I came back, my vinyl shop that I was going to for like the past 3 years had turned into a coffee shop, and Ramsey was in there pouring coffee and my mind was blown. I'm like, man, this used to be my vinyl stop right here, and now you're in here giving me espressos and lattes. Like, you can get that right around the corner. There's a million coffee places, but everybody wants to jump in the coffee business because I guess coffee business, the overhead is like nothing. You just make coffee, and people come in, and you can charge up the ass for it and make a huge profit, as opposed to vinyl, which I guess in their eyes was something that was obsolete, something that was no longer needed in this world. But go ahead, you're gonna say something.
No, I was actually gonna ask you, what is it still there? It's funny because I was thinking, is it still there? Then you said it turned into a coffee shop.
It's
What a
not still there,
what a
unfortunately.
concept of a coffee shop and vinyl shop in one.
Yeah. Like, why not just do that? Like, you could have been selling the coffee still and had the vinyl upstairs.
That would be really
He,
cool.
yeah, and then play the vinyl that you're recommending for the people in the coffee shop. Like, come on. Like, why would you get rid of the vinyl, man?
That's a great concept, and that's really warming and welcoming. Like, what gets better than that? You have a vinyl shop with great music. You can sit down, drink your coffee, and listen to vinyl. Like, it's a win-win. It's a win-win. It works perfect.
It would even be super ill if you could go in there and pull the vinyl yourself, like a open station if no one's touching it, and it's spinning, and no one, maybe the barista is tied up and he can't flip the vinyl because he's got, four people trying to get a soy latte. So he's in there skipping it and doing his thing. And just the average Joe, the average Joe sitting on the side could grab his Joe and just flip the thing, you know what I'm saying? And put on some David Bowie and then keep the Space Oddity rolling, and everybody's just tripping into their morning.
It's almost like Mel's Diner where they have the I'm talking about, the jukebox where you like
Yeah, jukebox.
press it. But imagine that with vinyls. That'd be such a great concept.
And everybody loves a jukebox. Are you old enough to have ever had the possibility to go into a bar and play the jukebox?
Not a real jukebox. It's like those digital ones where you go
Yeah.
up and
Well, that's the
not
stuff
like a
now.
real. I did the Mel's Diner ones though. That counts with the quarters and press like
Yeah,
the
you actually see
A5 or whatever.
the track come out and go in there. They have a lot of Waffle Houses like that. I
Never been
recall.
to Waffle House. I've never
Oh
been.
man, Waffle House. They got jukeboxes, but they got the joint. Well, you'll see the machine do the mechanics of grabbing the music and setting the dial to it and running the show.
Never seen that. I've never seen that.
Yeah, man. Waffle House. Find your Waffle House when you get down there in the dirty South. In the dirty. Man, I really love vinyl. I really love music. Just that visual of that Waffle House jukebox player playing that music. It's such a vibe. It's no greater way for music to be played. Something about it is kind of like the Death Star to me. Like, it's the end all be all to music experience from a consumer level on a community basis, not on a professional basis, not on like a stadium, right? Of course, you could always go greater in the live music, but the best thing, the closest thing to live music is vinyl. And telling you, one day all this Apple Music and Spotify is just gonna zap away and disappear, and all you got is your vinyl. You're the guy at that point.
How
If you got
crazy would that
vinyl,
be? Oh
that's
my gosh. Your
possible.
collection would be worth hundreds of thousands, probably. Not hundreds, but thousands for sure.
I
But
mean,
that's priceless at that point. At
mhm,
that point, it's just priceless because the
yes,
memories you make and music, such a great art. It'll never disappear.
right. Until the internet wipes out. What would you do if the internet wiped out? Let's say like everybody woke up tomorrow and everybody's bank account was at zero, all the Bitcoin was at zero, the Apple Music was gone, Spotify was gone, Twitter was gone, Instagram was gone. Like some kind of solar flare, alien, just energetic hit on the atmosphere and caused all the servers just to fry like worldwide.
The first week would probably be really chaotic, and then the month following would be really healthy. I think people would realize real life and living in the moment in reality. Their mental health would probably go up a lot, and um, I don't know. I think it'd probably be a good thing, to be honest with you. If the internet just disappeared forever, it'd probably be really, really good thing.
How chaotic could it possibly be if there was no internet to get
Because
your feelings
the
out?
internet's a drug. I mean, it's like withdrawing from a drug. Quite literally, it's withdrawing from a drug. It's not going to be pretty. Imagine you see one person withdraw from a drug now, and imagine the entire world withdrawing from a drug at one time.
But what I'm saying is the only reason people are able to live in chaos nowadays is because they can amplify their thoughts and emotions through social media. So if you take away that connectivity and like, oh my goodness, I'm freaking out. What am I gonna do? I don't have internet and my bank account's gone. And like everybody was just like zip and you couldn't yell that out. I mean, you could scream in your house, but you couldn't just hit a button and then send it out and it goes to 1,000 places and then it gets retweeted 1,000 times and becomes this viral sensation where everybody realizes, like, wow, this is a problem. Like, what if it was just this massive problem that no one could even really talk about outside of talking to someone that's in the same room next to him? I think something about that takes the chaos and minimizes it to a very small level. Do you kind of get what I'm saying here?
No,
It's
I do.
really,
I get what you mean. I get what you mean. Because I was kind of thinking that too. I was like, where would they run to though?
exactly. Like, what would you do? Oh shit, okay, all the money's gone. Um, no one has any followers. No one has any streams or anything. Now what? You're literally gonna have to go back to a community's worth of media and entertainment. It would literally bring back live arts within the vicinity of one's reach or entertainment. You know, like if there was no Netflix for a year, what would happen? I think people would naturally just get up and start acting some shit out, and somebody would stand around and want to see some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, what's going on today? We ain't doing nothing. Like, they ain't
We'll
doing
be
a
playing
get up.
charades on the Las Vegas Strip.
Exactly. You see what I'm saying? It's kind of a concept, man. That's kind of deep to think about. I think we kind of hit two great ideas here. We have your breakthrough restaurant / coffee bar if anybody wants to grab that idea, and then we also have this brand new movie idea about how the world just disappeared in terms of internet overnight.
The coffee restaurant and bar is already patented by the time they hear this, though. It's already trademarked and patented.
And no one else is allowed to play vinyl in here now, okay? No coffee shop anywhere can play vinyl. Only ours can. It's music and mental beans,
I was
ladies
gonna
and
say.
gentlemen. We were taking all of the earnings and we're gonna create a coffee shop. Oh, too bad nobody can go in it because it's quarantine. Do they have things open around you right now? Are you able to go into shops? What's closed in Sacktown and hometown, the place that you know so well? What has changed about that for this new world that we're living in, this wintertime and the unknowing of you know what?
Okay, so I gotta say, I live in San Diego and Sacramento for those who don't know, but I was in San Diego a week ago and they shut down quite literally everything. All you can do is go into a restaurant, pick it up to go, and then dip out after. Some restaurants let you eat outside. I mean, most do, but some don't. So it really just depends on where you go. But I'm noticing that it's the same as in San Diego and Sacramento. And here in Sacramento, it's the same guidelines: wear a mask. But you can't dine in anywhere at all. It's always dine or takeout. And it's definitely strange because they went back to the normal, like you can dine in and sit there, which was kind of a crazy concept to me because I did that at one restaurant in San Diego. I remember I took a picture. I didn't even like post it anywhere. I just took a picture for myself. I was like, this is the first time I've like dined in at a restaurant in how many months? Like 4 or 5 months. It was crazy to me. And then the irony of that was that as I was eating in there, I'm pretty sure I had Corona because a few days later I ended up testing positive for Corona. So kind of crazy the irony in that.
And
But
that was in Sacramento, or
that was in San Diego.
that was in San Diego. I didn't realize you got it in San Diego. I thought you picked it up in Sacramento.
No. So here in Sacramento, I had a family member who I live with. They tested positive for Corona in July. And we were in the same house and somehow I didn't get Corona. Um Still don't get that to this day. We were on the same couch, using everything, same same everything. And I didn't test positive. They did. So they quarantined. We quarantined for 2 weeks. I didn't leave the house. And then I went down to San Diego and then I got it. So
And how
kind
many
of crazy.
weeks or how long after your family member contracting the virus was it that you picked it up?
2 months.
2 months. And you said you were running around in San Diego. You went to a restaurant out to eat and you kind of got freaked out or feeling weird. And you were like, damn, this is kind of crazy. Like, what
I'll,
if it's
I'll tell
floating
you,
around in here right now?
no, it was my first symptom was went to Shake Shack and I had their barbecue sauce. And I was with my roommate and I looked at him and I go, bro, does this taste weird to you? And he's like, I don't know, man. Because I've never been to Shake Shack in my life. That was my first time. And I was thinking, like, dude, this food is just not hitting. Like, it's very bland. I was like, why does this barbecue sauce almost taste like Chick-fil-A sauce?
Holy shit. And that's
And
crazy
then,
because Shake Shack is my favorite burger restaurant in the world.
really, really,
So for you to go there and not be able to taste the flavor, didn't you just make some recent in and out blasphemous tweet? It's because you went to Shake Shack on Corona and you didn't have any taste buds.
it may be. I'll give it another chance. I'll give it another chance.
Yeah, I think you need to definitely give it another chance. All right, so continue your story. You're at Shake Shack, you're eating the barbecue sauce, and something's not right.
Something's not right. And I'm thinking it's kind of tangy almost. It almost tastes like Chick-fil-A sauce. And I remember I tweeted, I was like, yo, my first time at Shake Shack, but their barbecue sauce tastes exactly like Chick-fil-A sauce. And immediately everyone was flaming me for it. They're like, no, it does not. Like, what is wrong with you? And I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, I'm not tripping. This tastes like Chick-fil-A sauce. I've had Chick-fil-A a million times. This tastes exactly like it. And the food tastes, it even tastes good.
Okay, so wait, hold the phone. I thought that they said that a symptom is you lose your taste entirely. Somehow you were
Yes.
still able
So
to taste Chick-fil-A.
no, this was the very beginning of when I had it. This is like the very first
So it's
symptom
like all of a
sign I
sudden your
had
taste buds are
noticed.
like deteriorating.
yes, declining like
They
a
can't
stock almost. So
register
they're
barbecue
going
sauce
down.
anymore. They're like, this is Chick-fil-A sauce. This isn't barbecue sauce. This is
Yeah, like
water.
malfunctioning. Yeah. And so we go back to my apartment the next day and my roommate's like, you guys, my other roommate's like, you guys, he's like, I tested positive for corona. And we're like, ah, shit. Okay. So we go get tested and literally nothing at all throughout the whole time in quarantine. I lost my sense of taste and smell completely. I took a video. I had like a spoonful of onions, put it in my mouth, could not taste it at all. Even after corona, like even after I was tested negative, I mean, I still don't really have, it goes in waves. Like sometimes I don't smell that well, sometimes I don't taste. But I would say the first 2 weeks after I tested negative again, I still didn't have my smell or taste. Like I went to Sonic and I got the sweetest slushy they had. I put like nerd Skittles in it, got like the sweetest just to see if I could taste anything. Could not taste a single thing. It's
So what
kind
is
of like
it's just like a
what?
substance going in your mouth, like it tastes like your
Yeah,
name
it's
or
just like
something?
cold. It just feels like you're drinking, like imagine you're drinking a slushy, like an icy or something like that, and there's no taste. Like you can just feel the texture, and that's it. It's the weirdest sensation I think I've ever had, because I don't even know how to explain it. You just can't smell or you can't taste anything. It's all completely gone, and it's so sudden and mild. Like it doesn't hurt or anything like that. You don't really notice it until you're like, I can't taste this at all. I can't smell anything at all. It's the craziest sensation. It really is.
Wow. That's so weird. That's very weird. And seems like such a bummer too, because how great of a joy in life it is to taste things and to eat things and to quench your thirst on a nice beverage or, dip your chicken in some barbecue sauce. And to
Yeah.
not be able to accurately process this is barbecue sauce within my mouth, that sucks.
Or even when I did have it, I was trying to drink. You know what emergency is? Those little
Yeah,
packets. Little
yeah.
yeah. I was trying. I literally could have poured that whole packet in my mouth and not. I probably would have choked on it because like the powder substance, but I wouldn't have tasted it. I was pouring it in my water bottles and I could not taste it at all. It tastes like regular water to me, and it went down the same. But I will tell you, out of the 3 times I quarantined, I've quarantined 3 times. The first was like the obvious lockdown that everyone else did. Second was when my family member had it and I had to stay home for another 2 weeks, couldn't leave because I didn't want to put anyone in risk. And then the third time was when I had it. I will tell you, those were the some of the hardest things for my mental health this year. Those were really, really tough.
Just the idea of quarantining, not leaving the house.
Yeah, I mean, you're stuck in, I mean, the third time for me was the worst because I was stuck in my tiny room. Um,
And the whole
one of my
house tested positive for the virus.
No, so one of them didn't. So 3 out of 4 of us did. So one of them didn't. So we all stayed in because we didn't want to get him sick.
And then how was he?
Um,
He was just running around the house like regular, or did he lock up too?
yep. Nope. He was just running around the house regularly. And we would like pay for DoorDash and he would go get our DoorDash and drop it off at our door. And then that was that.
Wow. You
Yeah. So
guys were
he
door
kind of
dashing for 2 weeks straight.
DoorDash or he would make us food. We were really lucky for him. Very grateful that he did that for us. But it was horrible in the fact that you can't like leave your room. You're trapped inside this tiny ass room and you're stuck with your thoughts all day and you can't do anything, you can't smell anything, you can't taste anything, you're sick. You got no one there. It's just like fuck. I hate this. This is my third time doing this, but this time I'm actually sick doing it. So still,
But
still
you didn't
horrible.
feel sick outside of your loss of taste and smell, correct?
No, I had like weird symptoms. Everyone has their own different symptoms. I remember I'd get really lightheaded, really fatigued. I had these horrible headaches. Specifically, they'd hit behind my eyes. Like I would start seeing flashes of green, like everywhere I looked. Even when I didn't have corona, I'd start seeing flashes of green because my headaches were so bad. It hurt my eyes so bad.
Flashes of green. That's pretty dramatic.
Yeah, yeah. I remember because I called my dad and I was like, Dad, I can't stop seeing green. Like it's like taking over my entire vision. And
Like green dots or like green specks of light.
like green specks, like almost like dots. Like when you look in the sun for too long and then you look away and it's like you blink and it's like that green substance. It was like that every single time.
Is it
And
always green for you? That's always been green because for me, it's sometimes it's more like a orange or like a red or like a really light pink.
no, it's just green for me.
That's crazy. Green, you be seeing green shit. That's
Wow, I
crazy.
wonder if I wonder if it's different for everyone then. I've always assumed it was green, like neon slime green almost.
No, man. Like to me, like I see those specks sometimes. Like if I like kind of like squint my eyes, like you said, and there's like
Yeah.
rays of light in the room present. It doesn't happen that well in the dark, but sometimes it will happen if I find myself in a meditative state and I have my eyes closed and it's like really tense. There's like just these little specks of like black, red, pink, like almost in the sense of like atoms, like little tiny dots of light, and these spectacles just kind of like radiate and just kind of spin in this dark space, which you'd almost seem like there could be stars there, but it's not. It's just like little dots. And then sometimes, like what will happen is if I open my eyes too quick, or if I look at the sun in a weird way, I can see like this layer of specks over my eyes that are like little dots, and then it's like once you try and focus in on like the little dots, it's always like a couple steps ahead of like where your focus is, and you can never really catch up to what that speck is, and then it just kind of keeps flying and floating into this mind's eye existence that isn't actually there. I think I'm kind of ranting right now, but hopefully someone out there knows what I'm talking about. Like
Sounds like floaters.
floaters. What are floaters?
Okay, I had floaters when I was a kid and I ended up having to get my eyes checked for it, but it's like these clear little squiggly lines and when you're looking out, these clear little squiggly lines and they move. They keep moving, they go poof, 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 and you can never every time you look at it, it keeps moving, keeps
Right.
moving. And then eventually it'll go away, but it's clear and it has like a black outline. It's really crazy, really, really crazy thing to see. I don't know how to explain it.
But even when you saw that, it was green, or it
It was
was
clear. No, it's completely clear with a black outline. And that wasn't because of like looking at the sun or anything like that. That's just because um I have bad eyesight.
mm, well, damn. This conversation went all over the place today already. You're talking about some wild shit right now. Kind of hard to process, in fact. So let's
Music
get
and
back
mental
to
health uncharted. That's what
yeah,
we're at right now.
episode 21. By the way, let's get back to you and these green specks that you were seeing within your quarantine. Now you're getting headaches. You have massive headaches. Your eyes are feeling very heavy. There's a lot of pain behind your eyes, causing some headaches. And then you open your eyes and you just see like a green filter, or go more into this green that you're saying.
So first of all, these headaches though, they were so strange. They would come on so quick. Like 1 minute I'll be fine, and then I'd say no exaggeration, 2 or 3 minutes later, I'm in bed laying down because it hurts so bad. And I'm looking up, and every time I blink, it's just spots of green everywhere. And this happened even when I didn't have corona, because um what is the term my doctor called it? He said like it's called like corona brain or something like that. It's like a common thing for people to keep getting almost like an aftershock of an earthquake. You keep experiencing like the symptoms. You're obviously you're not sick anymore, but your body's still trying to deal with it. And so I remember I'd be walking and I would just start seeing these specks of green again. I'm like, oh no, like it's coming on, and then it would happen and it would freak me out, and I'd have to tell myself like, no, you're good, don't worry, because it's like it was really scary because all I was seeing was specks of green every time I blinked, or and then I opened my eyes and there's still specks of green. And I had to like breathe, relax, calm myself down, be like, you're fine, this is normal, there's nothing wrong, you're gonna be good. And it was definitely a test of character, I would say that.
Damn, and the character you were testing is yourself. Did any of your other roommates experience these green spot symptoms?
No, everyone else had like different symptoms. It was really weird. Everyone that I know who's had corona has had different symptoms from every person I've met. But the most common similar one is a lack of taste and smell. That is definitely like the big one. But everyone else has like these weird individual ones that
What were some
no
of the
one
weird
else.
things that were going on with your roommates?
Let me think. Miles, he didn't experience a lack of taste or smell until after he had tested negative. It was really
Mhm.
weird. It was like right at the end, we were cleared to like go out and everything by like the county and all that. Also, for people who don't know, um, for what it's worth, the county and the government is straight up on you about it if you test positive. I must have gotten about 10 calls from the San Diego County checking in and saying like, "Are you okay? Are you good? How are you doing?" Um, and then trying to contact trace. Like they actually do their absolute best, but I find it kind of strange because it's up to the people who have corona to communicate and cooperate. Because some people don't. It's really weird. Feel like they're gonna get in trouble or punished for some reason. Um, but I just told them straight up. I was like, "Yeah, no, I got it from my roommate. I'm not leaving. I feel fine." And I was driving a week ago and I got a call from the San Diego County. Like it was like the fourth one I've gotten since I recovered. And they're like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, no, I'm fine." But like they really are trying to do their best to like pinpoint the stuff. It's kind of crazy. Anyway, that was me just ranting. But some of the symptoms I gotta text him and think about it again. I don't really remember much because I was in such a weird mindset. But I just remember all of ours were so different from one another. Like he didn't feel the tightness of chest. I felt that like when I was laying down at night, I'd wake up and it was like really tight in my chest. Then I'd have to sit up and it would go away. Then it'd be fine. He didn't have that. Um, but I don't know. It just affects everyone so different.
It is very strange about the county being so adamant in terms of communication with you and constantly reaching out. That is kind of strange to me. Almost like they're keeping notes on you, and they want to know what your experience is and what
Yeah,
your
man.
symptoms were compared to everyone else. And they have this big Rolodex somewhere with all this information on it.
Oh
And
yeah, no. They asked me. They played 20 questions with me. They really were asking me every question in the book.
damn. And you said you were at a restaurant and you were like, damn, a part of you was like hovering over your head, like, I shouldn't be here right now. This is kind of
And no, because it was literally like right as I had tasted it, I was like, I've never really experienced anything like this. Like something's weird. I didn't know like what it was. I didn't just assume like, oh, I have coronavirus, but I just assumed like this is a little bit strange. This is a little bit weird. And then the next day, my other roommate was like, "Oh, I tested positive for corona," and I was like, "Well, that's probably what I have."
And what made him go get the test? He had symptoms already currently.
Yeah, he had. I guess he had symptoms, and he had just got tested, and just straight up told us. He texted in our group chat. He was like, "Hey guys, I'm really sorry. I tested positive for corona." And
Was
like,
he at the restaurant eating barbecue sauce
no,
at the other time?
no, different roommate.
And before you were at the restaurant eating barbecue sauce, which you thought was similar to Chick-fil-A, didn't you say you went out on another occasion and you just had some thoughts in your head, or is that the same occasion that you went out?
I think it was probably the same occasion, but the most ironic part when you were talking about that was I remember I was walking back from Shake Shack into my apartment complex and I had some dude, I was wearing a mask and we were outside and he's like, "Why?" Like I was literally just walking with my roommate. He's like, "Why are you wearing a mask, bro? Like take that off. Like why are you wearing that? There's no reason to wear that." And at the time I didn't know that I had corona, but I was just being safe and courteous to others. And so this dude is yelling at me, trying to give me shit, trying to talk shit to me because I'm wearing a mask. But little did I know at the time that I legitimately had coronavirus. And potentially was putting him at risk just by being around him. But if I didn't have a mask, I was putting him even more at risk. And here he is trying to talk shit to me and almost slander me because I'm wearing a mask. This is the most, looking back on it, is definitely one of the most crazy, not crazy, but just funny experiences I've had, because it speaks a lot of volume right now.
No doubt. I remember the last time I was in America, I was getting a little weird about flying because I knew that this corona thing was climbing. And at the time, I can't say, maybe there was some cases popping up in Washington. All I know is I didn't want to get on the plane without any mask. And this was before the mask hype was really happening. This had to be like late February, early March, maybe early March. And I had a friend hook me up with the mask. He's a doctor. So he gave me like one of like
95.
surgical mask. But
Okay.
it kind of has like a different shape to it. It almost has like a duck shape to it. You
Yeah, I
know
know what
the
you're
type
talking
I'm
about.
talking about?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not like the regular mask that everybody wears it, but it has like this beak to it. And I remember getting on the plane and wearing that mask, and these two, you know, 65-year-old, want to say biker looking type dudes, like motorcycle guys, Harley Davidson looking dudes with long hair, were literally looking at me and laughing at me because I had this mask on, because I was the only one on the plane like wearing a mask. And to this day, like I still wish I could see these fools again. Like, are you still laughing? Like, is this still funny to you? Like, I wonder how they turned out, you know? Because what do you think about the mental health of an individual who refuses to wear a mask or who is in denial about the protective procedures that a mask can hold?
I actually know someone who refused to wear a mask. She was a fat Karen. Fat Karen. She would be one of those people that like goes up to the store, oh, I can't wear a mask because I have a medical condition, all that, all that bullshit, which first of
Now,
all isn't even
when you say a
true.
fat Karen, you're not saying she was fat in weight.
No, like,
You're saying
no, I'm saying like personality wise, she soaks up everything that a Karen is and is on steroids. Think of it like just magnified times 100.
before you go any further, what's Jacob's definition of a Karen?
A, what is it? Plus 40, um how do I say this without how do I word this? um Basically, I'll explain it right now. For this girl's personality. She would go up to the stores and be like, oh, I can't wear a mask because like my doctor said I can't wear a mask, which first of all isn't true. Masks do not cut off your circulation of like anything in your body. She would do that bullshit and say like, oh, it's my right as a citizen constitutionally, blah 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 blah, trying to be like super woke conservative type shit. And I remember her, she would come around and she would try to like flex, it, and I'd always just kind of like laugh it off in the back of my mind, be like, she's gonna get corona. I'm not even gonna say anything, because those people, it's not worth talking. It's not worth even having the discussion with them because they're so close. It's just a waste of energy. You could tell them and they're just gonna argue with you. It doesn't matter. So she's like trying to make fun of everyone who wears masks and all this stuff. The virus is a hoax, blah, 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 blah. And then I shit you not, like 5 days later, she's got a horrible cough. Her lungs hurt. She's got a fever. She thinks she needs to go to the hospital. And sure shit, you tested positive for corona. And then after that, it humbled her. And she was no longer talking the shit. She's wearing a mask everywhere she goes. And I don't want to say like, oh, I'm happy you got it, but like it definitely humbled them.
That's crazy. And you said your definition of a Karen is 40 plus. Is this an individual 40 plus?
Yes.
Okay, so this is an older individual.
Yeah.
Wow. And they were just in denial, and then they caught it. Did they ever tell you where they think they caught it?
No. It's hard for a lot of people to say where they've caught it. Like, I think I got it from my roommate, most likely from me, but I don't even know. Like, I could have given it to my roommate for all I know. I don't know where I could have caught it. My family member, they don't know where they caught it. I mean, it's hard to like contact trace where you could have gotten it from when you're around people or like going to the store or restaurant. Maybe you go back home and then your family member does the same thing. And there's like six places that it could have came from, or like it's so hard to like trace it back. It really is.
It's crazy because it's like a phantom toxin that you can't see, you can't spot. It's just somewhere, and you could walk into it and you don't even know if you've walked into it or not, you know?
And as I talk about this in my city right now around me, I guarantee you there's probably like X amount of people infected with corona not being able to leave their house while I'm going out to the store still, taking my precautions with my mask. I have the antibodies still, but I'm not going to be like ignorant and try to like flex that in any way or like put other people at risk because that's not right. But I'm
How long
still
does
like
the
taking my
antibody
precautions, but
last? Pardon my interruption. How long does that antibody
um
last?
they don't know 100%. They say I've read articles that say up to 3 months. I've read other articles that say that's not true. You have antibodies, you have antibodies. And I've read other articles that say like a month. So I don't know, but I had it pretty frequent. I mean, I guess it's December now. Damn, time flies. So maybe I do, maybe I don't. But either way, I'm still being safe. But it's just crazy to think like as I sit here right now around me in this what 20-mile radius, there's people infected with coronavirus, and other people are going around still saying it's like fake and it's a hoax when it's definitely not at all.
That's crazy, man. It's really, really crazy when you really think about it. I feel like we've gotten so used to it in a way we're almost desensitized to how dramatic it is as a whole. Like, how would you compare your mental health today compared to when America first locked down, or that first quarantine, and it seemed like the whole world kind of locked down at once at some point in like April, right? It was like before Easter, right? A couple weeks before Easter.
It was, yeah, I believe it was late March. I believe like late March. Um, but I would say my mental health today compared to the very first lockdown, um, definitely grown more than I would have if Corona hasn't happened or hadn't happened this year. If Corona never happened, definitely taught me a lot more about myself. I would have found it out eventually. I believe that, but I think it kind of forced me to find that out in the last what 9 months. Wow, it's been 9 months. About 9 months. Almost. It's almost been a year. Now that we're in December, we got January, February, March. We got 3 more months, and it'll be a year.
Yeah,
Which is crazy to think about.
it is crazy to think about. I think patient zero was discovered in, was it December?
I think it was November actually,
Was it
but
November? It was November. I
yeah, I
think it
think it
was because I
was.
remember
Yeah.
seeing that in an article last
How
month.
about you though? How would you compare it
I
for your
think
mental health compared to the very start?
my mental health at the very start of this was somewhat shocked, somewhat a huge dumbfounded question mark just hovering over my head of uncertainty of what the hell is going on, of what's happening here. Compared to now, it seems to be a bit more hopeful, I guess. Not in regard to this vaccine that is being processed, but just in the idea that, oh, well, maybe we can make it out of this. I think I was a lot more pessimistic in the beginning of this. I think I was expecting the worst. Unfortunately, I was almost convinced, okay, we're all locked up in here right now because I think by 4th of July, there's going to be aliens here, and this was just the test to get ready for the aliens, just to see if we can lock up. And once the aliens didn't show up, I think I was kind of like, okay, well, maybe you can get that album out eventually, maybe maybe it is going to be okay in the end. Maybe this isn't, the last hoorah. Maybe there really is a light out of the end of the tunnel here. And lately, I'm just like, okay, I think I've been able to plan a bit more because we have all found new ways to live in this world that we're living in. And now we have to plan accordingly to that. Whereas before, we had our plans before quarantine, and none of our plans went in line with quarantine, with 2020, because of what it was. So all of those old plans that we marked on that New Year's resolution, 330 days ago, 30 plus, we those don't matter anymore, right? Those just vanished. But now you have the opportunity to create new plans based on the way that the world is currently turning. And I feel like these new plans that I have brought me hope, brought me optimism, because this is the new adjustment. This is the plan B, right? No one ever really planned for a plan B. I never planned for a plan B before because it was always, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm going for. This is what's going to happen. And for the longest time, I was blessed enough to allow my plans to fall into that jigsaw puzzle that I was trying to force. And now these new plans are just starting to sprout here. So let's see if they are as promising as my optimistic mentality calls for. It's not guaranteed, but I'm a bit more hopeful. Whereas, in March I was like, oh damn, that's it. There it goes. Everything we've always wanted is just whoosh, diminish,
You
gone.
bring up you bring up a jigsaw puzzle. Did you bring that up because you look at life as a puzzle or just as an analogy to that story you were explaining?
I think a little bit of both. I think
Because
I
I look
was
at
just using
like
it in the
you go.
moment as an analogy, but life is a puzzle, right? I think the
Because
universe
I
and
look.
God
Sorry, I
gives
don't
us
mean to
things.
interrupt you. I don't mean to interrupt, but I look at
Go
life
ahead.
as a puzzle, and when you said that, I almost feel like you do too in a way, and maybe because you were just explaining it the way that I think of it as well. Because I mean, life gives us pieces, and we try to force them sometimes. But Corona almost made us realize like you can't force pieces to the puzzle when they don't fit, and it's like such a humbling experience.
It sucks because no one wants to be stuck on a puzzle. No one wants to be stuck in the water temple for 45 minutes trying to figure out what the fuck Link is supposed to be turning right now. But that motherfucking water temple was a bitch. And that's what we're on right now. It's like we're all stuck. Like this is a part of the simulation where you're just stuck. And the new term of 2020 for me is figure it out. I think, it's like, well, this door closed, that door closed. Seems like the universe is closing. What are you going to do? You got to figure it out. You can't just lay in bed and not figure it out. You can't just give up because life goes on. Regardless of what's going on with the world in terms of war, politics, crime, health, sickness, famine, you have to keep going. We have to keep moving. We have to do something, you know? And that's that jigsaw puzzle well, if we can't put this piece here, we're going to have to find another piece to make it fit because the world and the universe, God gives us all the pieces that we need for anything. It's up to the individual to realize which piece goes where in this Tetris level as it just keeps falling. And the stack is rising, but you got to make it smooth. You got to make things fit in the right place. You can't have too many gaps, or it's going to get a little hot in here. Nelly,
I agree. I agree. No, I agree. When you're looking at your puzzle, you got that one piece. You waste all your time trying to force it into. It's not gonna fit, and you're just forcing it, sitting there trying to make sure. Well, I want to work. Well, I want to work, but then you realize now I have to use this one, whether I like it or not. And there's nothing you can do sometimes about it. Sometimes that's just the way life rolls. Sometimes that's the way it's laid out. And you just have to accept it for what it is.
it's kind of like chopping samples on the MPC. You get the sample, you chop it out, chop it out, you chop it out. You have these 8 pieces right here. And you think while you're chopping it out, oh yeah, it's gonna go like dun 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 dun. But then you get there and you start tinkering with it, and it doesn't fit the way that you originally imagined it to be. So I can sit there for an hour and try and force this to happen and include a drum pattern with it, or I can try a different route, or I can go instead of you have to find sometimes the back way in to get there as opposed to going through the front door. If the front door is locked, try the back door. Wasn't it Lil Wayne that says even at the White House we pull up at the back door?
It
Well,
was.
Lil Wayne, I see why you were pulling up the back door now. You didn't want to see anyone seeing you going in there and talking to Donald Trump, but we see you going through the front door now, though. That's a funny moment. I could hit the laugh track, but shout out
Uh,
Wheezy F baby. No ceilings. Tetris. I wonder if he's a Tetris fan. No ceilings. He must be really good at Tetris. Who
probably
knows?
beat the game. Probably beat the game for all we know.
Yeah, probably. He definitely beat Tony Hawk. We know that. Surprised he wasn't a character in Tony Hawk.
I have not played the new game.
Yeah, I haven't played it either, actually.
Did you
Could
listen
could
to
not.
No Ceilings 3?
I did not listen to No Ceilings.
Neither did I. I don't even know where to find it.
I haven't heard anything new. Actually, wait. Stop. I've been listening to Brittany Howard. Brittany Howard? Oh,
No,
actually,
I
what?
don't.
We have so much to talk about because the Grammys just rolled out
Oh my goodness.
last
This
week.
is
Should we talk about it, or I know a
we
dicey
could.
conversation. I almost feel weird. This is the part of music and mental health that makes me feel a little bit strange because I'm an artist. I'm a recording artist. I'm trying to put out an album myself. I'm trying to release something myself, and it feels a bit taboo to commentate on the game when you're playing it. You should almost kind of just be quiet and let the game play, and not really talk about it. But I don't know. What do you think, Jacob? Should we talk about it? Here's what I will say before we get into it. I discovered a great album because of it. And that album is Brittany Howard's, I believe the title is Jamie. Brittany Howard received a Grammy nomination for Best R&B Performance, I believe. And the name of the song is Goathead. I believe that was the Grammy nomination. And I discovered the album connecting to that in the process. Shout out Bob. Bob just texted me. Um, I really love this project This artist, Brittany Howard, is, I believe, from Texas. Could be wrong. Could be Georgia. Somewhere from the South. And Brittany Howard was actually in a band which won a Grammy a couple of years ago, known as the Alabama Shakes. You know the Alabama Shakes?
No, I do not.
The Alabama Shakes. Incredible band, incredible album. Sound and Color was the name of that album. I actually have that on vinyl. Incredible album. And from my perspective, Brittany Howard went solo, left the band, stepped out in the front, and created this amazing album called Jamie. Highly, highly recommended. Anyone out there listening right now, remember Brittany Howard, Jamie. So I'm going to go ahead and pass the mic to you, and I'm going to let you do what you do with it.
I think the Grammys right now and the current state of it is a joke, honestly. I think most people, I think even Drake posted to his Instagram story and he said something like, no one takes the Grammy serious anymore because they're not giving out the correct words, they're not nominating the correct people. And you know what's bad when, I mean, we talk a lot of shit about social media, but they do have an input, and no one seems to be happy with any of the current selections. And you even look back, like I was thinking, even like J. Cole in 2014, Forest Hills Drives, he goes, watch was the line? Watch Iggy, like watch Iggy Azalea win the Grammy, and I just crack a smile. I'm just playing. And then he goes, but all jokes contain a little bit of truth to him. He talks about like Macklemore, basically Macklemore winning over Kendrick Lamar, Good Kid, Mad City. Um, it's true though. Like historically, you look back on some of these awards that I've won, and you can see why people aren't taking the Grammys so serious anymore. Like everyone thinks it's like just a joke. You look at Kanye West, quite literally taking a piss on his award, right? That was his Grammy that he was peeing on, I believe, in the toilet. And
Yes.
I don't think anyone cares about the. I mean, back in the day, it held significance, but what does it hold now? The way that they categorize artists, the way that they select these awards, even the nominees, like it never lines up with what is perceived from a musical standpoint within the audience. Like it doesn't line up. Like I think even Tyler Creator, I think it was him last year who said it. Was it Tyler who said like they trap us in one genre? I think it was Tyler who said that when he won. He
It
said,
was about urban music, correct?
yes, that's why I believe it was. And I just think for the last, I don't know how many years it's been going on. I'm only 20, but I remember as far back as I can think when I was 14, when I was getting into music. I don't think anyone's really taking the Grammys that serious. I mean, I don't think it's, I know it used to be a prestigious award to get, but I don't think it is anymore.
Trying to figure out how the best way to say this because I know I'm being recorded, and I know this can come
Take
back.
your, take your time. Take your time.
I'll say this. I was pleased to see several of my favorites nominated this year for the Grammys. Several of my favorites whom which have never been nominated before. And when I saw them winning these nominations, it made me happy and it inspired me. Regardless of what's fair, regardless of who deserves it, yes, we all know Macklemore robbed Good Kid, Mad City. Good Kid, Mad City is without a doubt one of the greatest works of American music of all time. Nevertheless, there were several artists nominated this year, which made me very happy. Go ahead.
I just don't get. Good Kid, Mad City got robbed, but how does 2014 Forest Hills Drive, one of the very few rap albums with no features, go platinum and not get nominated for a Grammy? Not even get nominated for a Grammy. The first time J. Cole ever got nominated for a Grammy was last year for Dreamville, out of all the projects he's ever dropped.
Really? I didn't know
And
that.
that is, how does that happen? I mean,
Yeah, it doesn't seem right at all.
right. And then even this year, the Weeknd dropped Starboy. Didn't get one. Didn't get one nomination. I actually, he may have got one for like a music video, I think.
It
But
wasn't
other than
Starboy
that,
though. I thought it was Blinding Lights.
Blinding Lights. Yeah, my bad. Blinding
Just
Lights.
had to correct that for the
Yeah, yeah.
documentation
I was
purposes.
thinking
I know
about
you
that.
know what you were talking about. I just
Yeah, but it might have been one. But other than that, I actually don't believe. He got nominated for anything, and I think that's what Drake was talking about on his Instagram. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think my best example is definitely J. Cole. I mean, last year was his very first one, and that's just, it seems so crooked to me that he undoubtedly, love him or hate him, look at his track history, listen to his music, songs like Love Yours. You don't nominate him for a Grammy, not even a nomination. I'm not even saying he got robbed, because he didn't even get in the chance to get robbed. They didn't even set him up. They didn't even put him in the proximity to even be on it. And so he finally said, "Oh, let's bring in a ton of artists who don't have the chance." I'm like, okay, maybe because there's a ton of artists, maybe now we should do it because it has a lot of attention. And then like, okay, maybe now we should. Crazy to me.
I really wish Bobby Boy would have put a collaborative album together as a whole. I think it would have been really dope. I guess there's still time. We could still do it, but I wish we would have not necessarily responded, but you know, we could have took the baton forward with this label album. I wish we would have done that.
It's never too
Nevertheless,
late. I'm
yeah,
sure
you're right.
Dreamville, Revenge of the Dreamers 4 is probably going to come out when Corona's over and they can all get back together again. Music never ends. I mean, it's
Right,
never too late.
right. I'm just putting that out there. I want to see that happen. But you're right, though. It's never too late, and I hope it does happen still. But if I don't say it while it's on topic, then it would just get swept under the rug. So I'm saying it now. Kai Joe, Big Limbo, John Lindahl. We need to get together. We need to get the white shirts out. We need to get the white hats out. Get the white pants. We all need to stand next to each other, shoulder to shoulder, and we need to dance in the rain. We need to sing a song, and we need to put that album out. You know what I'm saying? That's how I've always envisioned it.
The coolest thing I like about Dreamville too is they invited a ton of other artists. Like when they
Right.
had like Vince Staples and everyone, and they start posting it to social medias, and it's like Revenge of the Dreamers 3, and everyone starts getting all hyped. I just remember like when that album dropped, it was so special. It was 4th of July. I remember I was at a 4th of July party pre-COVID, of course, and it was like midnight, and so I guess technically it was July 5th. But I was like, I heard the first song, Under the Sun, and I heard Kendrick's little Easter egg ad lib in that. I don't know if you've heard Under the Sun or listened to that project, but Kendrick is on the chorus like, woke up for some money. It's like it's obviously Kendrick, and everyone's like, oh shit, it's Kendrick Lamar with the dream, because like everyone wants Kendrick and Dreamville, but this is crazy the power music has over people. It's the memories you can create with it when multiple people are together and you can feel that energy. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I remember seeing those documentaries and being inspired. by the collaborative effort of a group of people just going ham. One room over here, one room over here, one room over here, one room over here, and everybody's in there just making music, hopping through rooms, different vibes in every room. Like that's fun. That's really fun to do. First and foremost, music is fun when you're doing it right. You know, when you're really vibing and there's a great energy there, it's a lot of fun. And the second that the energy is off and it's not fun, you can't really make any music. But that ping pong match of challenging each other to take it to the max, not to necessarily be the best in the room, but just to push everybody towards this energy, and everybody's around this microphone and around this machine, and it's amping up and revving up, like really fun to do that. You
The
know, I
best
love
example,
making music like that. Go ahead.
the best example of that is on that documentary we were talking about when you watch them record Wells Fargo. Um, do you know what song I'm talking about? The song Wells Fargo.
I think so.
It's like rob my gun, we about to rob a Wells Fargo. But it's like you watch them record it, and there's like five or six of them just around the microphone, and they're all just having such a fun time. And then you hear it in the actual song, and you can feel the energy, you can hear it. And so me and my homies, we'd be driving around just when that came out, we would just go ham to that song. Not in Costa Rica. At the end, they had what's his name? Go on a date with an AK, Ski Mask Slump God. I'm pretty sure it was him. It's just so fun, man. You make great points when you say that. When the energy is good, good music is created, and you can feel it. It's so fun.
And a part of that is sad because looking towards the future, you know, can that ever happen again? I saw a video on Twitch of somebody in the studio the other day, and there were 7 dudes in there. They were recording, they were twitching the studio session, which is something I've never seen before. Like it's cool to twitch, you know, at home, like just vibing, like just making some vibes. But I think it's kind of strange to twitch when you're in the studio. It's like, wait a second, this is kind of sacred. Like
Yeah,
this music is supposed to be going on like the album. Well, who cares? Like who's at home right now? This is for like you guys and the vibe. You
yeah,
know, it's one thing to have a camera in the room recording the process, but it's another thing to have a live camera there and people watching and responding. Regardless, there's like 7 people in the studio. There's a runner walking around with the iPad taking orders for food, and there's a mixer, and he's the only one wearing a mask. And besides that one person wearing a mask, there's 7 people in there, like it's a normal day, like it's
wow.
2018 working on a project. And man, I just can't get down like that right now. Like, you know, that whole collaborative effort, that album, which was nominated, I wonder if we'll ever be able to do that again. Truly do it. Because it feels weird to be anywhere right now. It even feels weird to be walking down a populated street because you always just got this weird shadow kind of hovering over your head like, I shouldn't be here right now. This isn't safe. I'm kind of in this person's breathing direction. They were just right here. You know, it just doesn't feel right, you know? And I feel like, unfortunately, I don't know, something about 2020 has taken a part of human nature with it. And I don't know if we'll ever feel like 2019 again. I don't know if we'll ever feel that freedom of just walking in a grocery store or being in a studio, collaborating, or, you know, just being around people. Every time you're around somebody now, you just feel weird about it. Do you know what I mean?
No, I've thought about that too. Like, um, in like a non fuckboy way. Don't mean this at all to sound like a fuckboy thing, but like I'll be in the store and I'll be talking to someone. I'm like, oh, like this person's kind of cute. They're kind of attractive. And I can see them like smiling behind their mask, or like I'm smiling behind the mask. And I'll wonder, like, I wonder if they I wonder if they're thinking like, what do they look like behind the mask? And I think like, damn, are we ever gonna get back to that? Because I don't even remember what that's like now. I go into a restaurant and I'm like talking behind this mask and I'm used to smiling to people like, hey, how's your day? Like just like even checking in on people like, hey, how are you? Blah 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 blah. But now it's like you have this on and it's like, oh, there was a time where you didn't have this and you could see people smile toward one another. Now you're just kind of assuming like you could see the cheeks rise like through like the mask and like that's like your indication that they're smiling, but you don't know, like you can't really read their language as much because you can't see them smile, and when you see people smile it obviously radiates some dopamine in your brain and it actually does affect your brain whether you like it or not. So now you can't see that when you're out in public settings. And I wonder, like, damn, are we ever gonna get back to that? Because I used to miss like talking to workers or talking to people at the store and like just being like, hey, how's your day? And seeing them smile, small conversation, because that goes the furthest way. I remember when I used to work at like KFC, people would ask me, hey, how's your day? And then I was like, hey, that's good. And it would make my day just seeing someone smile. Now you can't really see that because everyone has a mask. And I do wonder, I'm like, is it gonna get back? And eventually it will, I believe. I mean, might take another year or so, say per se. I don't know, but it might not. There might be a vaccine, but I'm just wishful thinking at this point.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy to think about. Kanye was saying something like that, I think, on the Joe Rogan Kanye. I feel like we've brought up Kanye West every single
We have,
podcast
yeah,
of all time.
the influence.
The influence. But you're
First it
right.
was the Yeezus CD. Now it's Kanye and Joe Rogan.
Yeah, he's up again. So Kanye's back in conversation. I mean, Kanye is music and mental health when you really think about it. And this is the product of Kanye. This is the product of Kanye. But going back into what you were saying there, very real stuff. Not being able to see someone smile has a dramatic impact. It almost creates more distance between us. This idea of mask and social distancing is going to remove a part of friendship timelines. It's going to remove a part of relationship timelines because you won't be in the grocery store and glance at that person and it starts a conversation or an attraction of some sort. Now what do you have besides the internet to meet new people? How can you truly meet someone in a random coffee shop if they have a mask on and they're getting their latte and they're in their rush, and you might be much more hesitant to spark up any conversation at all. So everyone's in their own little bubble. No, get away from me, man. Wait a second, too close. Back up, back up. I don't know you. This is weird. You're a little too close to me. Where's your mask? You should have your mask on. It has created, not created, it has eliminated a sense of communication and human experience. It's gone now. Will we ever get it back? I don't think so, Jacob. This is what I'm saying. The world is different now. And I think once we accept that the world is different and we have to navigate in a different place, on a different time and space continuum, then we can all get a little bit closer to what we want out of life. But until we give up what the old world used to be, it's going to hurt. It's time to move on. It's time to adapt. It's time to figure it out. It's time to adjust. It's time to reinvent yourself. It's time to make it work to the best of your ability. I know it's hard. I know it's fucked up. It's not fair at all. What has happened on your timeline? What has happened on my timeline? What has happened for your expectations? What has happened with my expectations? It's not fair at all, but I guess life never was fair. So what are you going to do? You going to cry about it? Or are you going to make something happen? Those are your only choices. Really. I mean, I guess you could not cry about it and just sit there and be mute and not do anything about it, but you might as well cry because at least you'd be doing something. Then at least you'll get rid of that pain. Let it go. Express yourself. Let the tears out. Let it go. Don't hold it back. But once you're done, you need to wipe those tears up. You need to dry your face and you need to go to work. One thing about my physical health directly connected to my mental is I'm just tired lately. I'm tired a lot more lately because I'm adding so much in my day. I'm challenging myself, taking responsibility. I'm trying to be mature. I'm trying to be better than I was yesterday. I'm trying to accomplish more within each day without looking at the numbers, without wondering where I am in the process. It's this great analogy. I don't know where I heard it, but you got to keep your head down and swim. You can't look at where you are while you're swimming because you're never going to get anywhere. You keep your head down, you breathe on your strokes left and right, and you keep moving. You're going to slow yourself down if you're constantly looking. How far have I gotten across this pool? How far have I gotten across this water? Who cares how far you've gotten? Look up when you're finished. There is no time to look up right now. Get going, ladies and gentlemen. Get going. Any final words for Music and Mental Health, episode 21, Jacob, Sarah?
Keep that head down, keep swimming. That's the best analogy I've heard, I think, all month.
Amen. Well, to the diving board, ladies and gentlemen. Take a deep breath and jump in. This is it. December, the final month of 2020. What do you want to accomplish? What do you think about New Year's resolutions, Jacob?
I don't think you should wait till New Year's to have a resolution. That's what I think. That's what I've always thought.
I think you took the words out of my mouth. I mean, let's say you created some New Year's resolution for 2020 and then 2020 happened. You're like, well, damn, I couldn't do any of that. Okay. So scratch that list. What are you going to do? Are you going to wait until January 1st, 2021 before you create that new list? Or are you going to create that list today? I think Jacob said it best. You need to start your list right now and accomplish what you want to accomplish right now. There's no need to wait 31 days. Oh, it's December 1st right now. All right, in 31 days, I'm going to go hard. It's going to be the new me, January 1st, 2021. I'm going to go so hard this year. It's going to be the new me. No, fuck that. Go hard now.
And if you actually believe,
go ahead.
If you actually believe that you're going to wake up one day and just be a whole different person, you have a whole nother thing coming. You have so much to learn. If you think you're going to wake up on January 1st and all of a sudden it's going to be rainbows outside and freaking sunny days every day, no. Make that resolution today. Plan it, figure it out. It's not going to be easy. If you're really serious about it, just do it. It's not, you can't just wake up on January 1st, 2021 and be like, oh yeah, yep, here it is. Everything's fixed. I'm going to the gym every day. I'm going on runs every day. I'm writing this amount of pages every day. Like, no. If you were really serious about it and you really wanted it, if you really, really, really wanted it, you would do it right now. You wouldn't make some pansy bullshit excuse to do it on a certain day just because everyone else is saying that they're going to do it.
What's a pansy, Jacob?
A word I used in the moment.
No, that was a challenge. And we should all be challenging ourselves. Challenge each other, even if you get the opportunity. Surround yourself with people that are going to challenge you. Don't surround yourself with people that just want to sit on the couch and play Fortnite or Call of Duty all day. Surround yourself with someone that's going to challenge you to be the best person that you can be, to be better than you were yesterday. If you can't surround yourself with people that are going to do that, you need to surround yourself with that mentality. And as far as I'm concerned, there is no competition. The only person you're competing with is yourself. If you do more than you did the day before, you're winning. Just keep doing more. Keep doing more. What is it that you want? What is it that you need to accomplish? What is it that you are demanding? What's your objective in life? Work on it every day. Put more into it tomorrow than you did today. And I promise you, you will get it. You will achieve it. You will access that code to get into the bunker at the dam. I promise you. You have the access card. You just picked it up. You just don't even realize it. You need to check your pockets, ladies and gentlemen. Check your pockets. You have everything you need. God has given you the entire jigsaw puzzle. It's your job to put the puzzle together. It's your job to figure this out. But at the same time, it's your job to hustle and motivate yourself with urgency to accomplish it. Because if you just pick away at it piece by piece, you're not going to get anywhere. Go hard, ladies and gentlemen. Whatever you want, with whatever you want, whatever it is, just go hard and just don't stop. Don't stop until you get enough. Just do it. I don't know. Nike, Michael Jackson, whatever. Like, just fucking go. Like, just fucking go, man. I don't even know. I don't. It's so simple, but it's so hard because nobody wants to do anything. But I tell you what, there's 31 days left in December. Challenge yourself to do whatever that is. Whatever you think you're going to write on this list on January 1st, write it now and make it happen. That's all I got to say, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for the support. We appreciate you, listeners, viewers, wherever you are, YouTube, Twitch, Spotify, whatever it is. Thank you. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you. Episode 21. Signing out. Passing it on to my brother, Jacob.
Just gotta say thank you to everyone listening. Do make that list and do it whenever you're hearing this. Don't wait till the first, and take care of yourself. If you're feeling down and you feel like you might need to reach out for some help. And just love yourself, take care of yourself. And we'll see you guys in the next episode.